Well, today we're going to learn how to do a weekly maintenance of your WordPress website. And here's the 6 steps I'm going to go through. First, we're going to check that we have a backup. Then we're going to update plugins one at a time. Then update the theme. Next, if you have any comments that people have left on the website, you can moderate those. The next step will not be done weekly, but occasionally there are WordPress core files that need to be updated or PHP. And finally, we can run a Wordfence scan to see if there's anything else. It's really important to do this because if you're not maintaining it, just like if you weren't maintaining your car or your house, it can cause a big mess later, and you may end up paying someone to fix up all the mess. Now, even if you're maintaining it, you could get in a situation where you need someone to help fix up a mess, but it's a lot less likely and a lot better to maintain weekly updates. And the other thing is your website will work better if everything's running on its newest, latest version. So let's go ahead and update and maintain this site. So first step is to take a backup or make sure you have a backup, and I did that right before this video by pressing backup now. If we have our settings set to daily backups anyway, so if you want to just double check that you have a backup available, you don't even really need to back it up now. But if you want to make sure I want the latest backup possible, you go ahead and back that up. And this is, how did I get here? This is Updraft Plus, which to get there, I went to plugins, and if you don't have the Updraft Plus plugin on your website, you can load that up, and then I went to settings. So plugins, Updraft Plus, settings, and that takes you to where you can make sure you have a backup. So step 2 in maintaining our site is the plugins, and here we are already in the plugins. You can see this red circle with a 2 showing me I have 2 plugins that need updating. Now we're going to it does allow you to update them all at the same time, but many people say it's better to just update one at a time. That way if something goes wrong, you kind of know which plugin to blame it on. Okay, so that one's updated, and then you can go ahead and visit the site and make sure everything's working. I'm not actually going to go through that right now, but if you're worried about each plugin update, you can take a look. And then finally, I have this plugin to update, so I'm going to hit update now. And it doesn't take long, but it is important to maintain that. Okay, the next step is updating the theme if it needs it. So usually it will tell you if it needs it with a little colored circle, and so ours does not need an update right now, but if it ever did, it would say here themes, it would have a little update number icon there. Now since we're using the Genesis framework, the interesting thing about this is you're not actually ever going to update the child theme that is just for your website. You're going to update the Genesis framework only. And any of those updates will carry into our child theme that we have used. We also have this third theme. It's not active, but it's just the really standard WordPress 2021 theme. That's there just in case something goes funky with our theme. There's like a backup theme there. Probably never have to use it, but at least the content would be there on a just kind of a stable theme. You can see it's not activated, but if it ever said it needs to be updated, you could go ahead and update that one too, as long as you're here. Again, you'll probably never use that one. Okay, next is comments. So we've done the main maintenance already. Comments, if anyone's left a comment on your blog post, you can go to comments here. And right now we don't have comments. This is a pretty new website, but here you would just go through and decide if you're going to approve comments or respond to them. It's doing that once a week while you're doing maintenance anyway is a good idea. Okay, the next one is WordPress core files or PHP. This one is not going to happen every week, and if it ever says the PHP, if you on your dashboard, it'd probably give you a notification right at the top that your PHP needs to be updated, and for that I always just jump on a chat with someone in my host and ask them to update the PHP. That's a very big update. Definitely want to make sure you have a backup before a PHP update, and I would not, even myself as a developer, I would not do that myself. I would just ask the host to do the PHP update. And then finally, we can run a Wordfence scan. And by the way, at any point in this process, you can look at your website, make sure the links are working, make sure everything's working. And finally, we're going to do this Wordfence scan. So you'll go to your Wordfence area. And I mean, it's always scanning for you here. It gives you a list of issues and it tells you the priority. Most of them are low priority. Oh, okay. Unknown file in WordPress core. So I will be fixing that after this video because that one is a high priority. But a lot of these are low priority. They do give you details if you want to investigate what they are. Core files not removed during the update is what most of these say. Okay, so usually you don't have to worry too much unless it says it's a high alert, and then you can look at the details here and decide if it's something you want to try to fix or hire someone else to try and fix or Google it, and there you go. So you've maintained your website and you'll do it again next week.